I wish you well, but I hope you fail. Welcome to the NFL. Ooh, it's a hydration situation right here where the locker room comes to life and the X's and O's meets the I's and U's. Yes, go to projecttransition.org. Become a gym member. That's my goal. Every single one of y'all become a gym member. Now, I wish you well, but I hope you fail. Welcome to the NFL. If you're Bryce Young and Andy Dalton and that team dynamic, it's not just the NFL, it's anybody in a position where you have to work well with others. So we all saw Carolina beat up on the Las Vegas Raiders. It's like, damn, really? And this is a deep issue right here because this is something I went through, all of us go through, when somebody has what you want, but you got to work with them, right? You want that promotion, but damn it, Bob is the homie, but I got to get what Bob got, right? And it happened with me with Bruce Smith. It happened with me in Buffalo when I got drafted. I wish you well, but I hope you fail because I'm trying to get some of that mail, as E40 would say. What am I talking about? I'm talking about these dynamics right here. And they're going to break it down, and we're going to break it down even more. Let's watch them talk through this Bryce Young situation.
I may play again later this year. I want out.
Yes.
If I'm Bryce, I want out because you're not proper. You messed me up. You're not properly developed. I'm sure he's got a team. I would advise him to get out. That's one thing. The other thing, let me get on Canales here for a second, okay? Because let me tell you how I'd see this if I'm a linebacker on that defense and this happens and the quarterback gets benched after 2 weeks because he's doing so bad.
Oh, let's stop it right there. Now, speeding it up so they can allow me to do it with some copyright issues, but y'all get the point. If you're Bryce Young, you got to go. Now, this is what Teddy Bruschi is saying in that situation before the game. Like, I got to go. Because you guys have mishandled me. You guys already got me out there looking bad. You stained the brain of all the people watching this game. That doesn't include just fans. That's people who are out there making decisions on personnel. You got general managers thinking I'm sorry. You got other players thinking I'm suspect. Everything. They have stained the brain. When you hear Bryce Young, even my son, MJ, talked about it because he knows we know him. He's like, he didn't do well, huh, Daddy? I was like, nah, he didn't do well. He didn't do his best. He said he was much better at Alabama. And I was like, yeah, he was. And that's the point. How do you get back to where people know who you are in terms of your talent at the top level? Can you get back? How do you restore that roar? It ain't going to happen in Carolina.
At least my head coach looks like he wants to win a game. Okay, because you had no chance with Bryce Young to win football games. So I'll give Canales that. I respect that as a player in the locker room and saying, I know it's only week 2. Even the players, they have their ideas of, man, I'd give this guy 4 to 6 weeks, and then if not, maybe we should put in Andy. But, man, after 2 weeks, I'm looking at you, coach, and thinking, at least you're looking out for us and want to win a football game. I'll give Canales that.
And that's the beautiful part about it because, look, it's 53 dudes in there, and you can't just think about one. Because if you do, then all the other 52 guys are going to be thinking about themselves and themselves only. So you got to go out there and say, look, can't throw out the baby with the bathwater at the same time. This tub needs to stay full. And they got themselves back. We're going to talk through that with Andy Dalton.
I'll give him that.
So Andy Dalton's the answer? Is Andy Dalton the answer?
Give me anything besides Bryce Young right now to win a football game if I'm a player on that team.
Listen, I heard that this week when he said Andy Dalton gives us the best chance to win. Well, then what about last year? Of course that was true. But you decided to start him and go through this process. And now after 2 weeks into his second year, you're bailing on it. This organization is a disaster. The idea of an organization is to accumulate talent, not give it away.
Right.
Oh, we trade away Christian McCaffrey. We trade away DJ Moore. Brian Burns. Like, let's just give away our best players. They have no idea how to identify talent and keep it. Oh, by the way, Baker Mayfield had to stop here. He wasn't good enough.
That part.
Now he's just
Sam
crushing
Darnold.
you in the division.
So
Sam Darnold was here. He wasn't good enough.
I bring in the word
that Bryce gets out of there.
Said a mouthful there, but the best part about that was the fact that if you're Carolina and then Andy Dalton is there, even Andy Dalton, like, this may be a stopgap for me, but at this point in my career, who cares? I'll take what they give me. But if you're Bryce Young, so much in front of you, why would you just take what they give you? You deserve more. You got that leverage still, even in imagination right now, because you're a former first overall pick. Alex Smith knows that. He was a former first overall pick who had his struggles, right? Then lost his job to Colin Kaepernick, et cetera. Still got his rebound and opportunities, right? So you got to understand there's so much football left in front of you, man. Don't let them just destroy all of that imagination that could turn into a new, greater situation.
That I always talk about when there's something like this and the mentality of those players in the locker room watching the head coach is like, I'm going to do what's best for me.
Real quick.
And that's the independent contractor
Yes.
mode. And it's like, I'm just going to do what I can to stay healthy
Yep.
and maybe fill up the stat sheet and do what I can so I can keep my job. But that's not the right attitude to have, and that's probably what they have.
To that attitude, and Randy, you brought it up, word is out. Nobody wants to go there. They couldn't get a head coach. That's why they did that with Dave Canales, right? Like, no free agents are going to sign there. You could not pay me enough money to go play for the Carolina Panthers right now.
Dang, listen. I mean, what else can you say? What more can I say? Goodness. You could pay me. Now, I'm not a quarterback. You know, I'm a defensive end. Is there another quarterback on the field that I can sack and get paid off of? Yes. Will those sacks allow us to be in position to win? Yes. Will we win it all because I'm a DN? DNs don't win it all for you, right? So it's like, well, Carolina's not off the board for many positions. But at quarterback, absolutely, because you need assets, resources. You need all of that in abundance around you for you to succeed. If not, they're going to blame you. You don't have good receivers? Oh, well, you're a bad quarterback because you ain't making those receivers good enough. Tom Brady's already broken that model when we saw receivers. Wes Welker was a San Diego Charger. Do y'all remember that? Nope. Exactly. Then in Miami Dolphins, y'all remember that? Yeah, a little bit. You remember them Patriots. You remember them Broncos. That's how the game goes, man. So it's so much, as they say at the top level, mind over matter, right? And when you think mind over matter, you're thinking just on the field. Nah. It's the power of what I think of you. Sometimes y'all ever watch a game and you're like, why is that backup not playing? Like right now in San Francisco, you see the backup running back, you're like, damn, he should be starting somewhere. But it's the power of imagination, the reality of a situation. So Christian McCaffrey comes here, he's starting. I don't care what you're doing in practice, bro. I don't care what you do in the game. I think Christian McCaffrey could do more. So you go in the game and get 100 yards, they thinking Christian McCaffrey get 130. You go in the game and get 130, they thinking he gonna get 160. That's the point. I've been there before when it's like, dog, y'all paying me a lot of money, so I ain't gonna tell y'all. I ain't gonna out myself. I ain't gonna give y'all any secrets. But the dude behind me, I think he could do almost the same. If not, better. If not, at least for cheaper, comparable, right? Anyway, let's get back to Andy Dalton. This is interesting. If you're Bryce Young, you were sitting there before that game. I ain't gonna play with prayer, but he was sitting there thinking, dog, I hope we lose by 100. Why? Because that validates me. Why? That justifies this example of how bad this is. Why? Because I don't want them to say it was just me. Because if it's just me, then I start losing some of those people who think it's just the situation. You thinking it's Carolina, they go out there, get beat down by the Vegas Raiders? Bryce Young sitting there at the press conference like this. Yeah, it's tough for us right now. It's tough for us. Inside, he go like, yes, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Told these fools. If you're Andy Dalton before that game, you're sitting there like, man, here we go, Andy. Let's get it going, right? Oh, yeah. This is what I'm used to now. I take what they give me, and I make the most of it. That's before the game. Bryce, I know it wasn't all on you, big dog. I got this. I got this with you, big dog. I know how they treated you, right? Let's go. That's before the game. After the game, what they won, 36-27? Antonio Pierce calling out his team. We're going to do that video, too. If you're Bryce Young, he's sitting there like, oh, no. The whole world thinks it was just me. Throw out the baby with the bathwater. It was a me problem. Damn it. His whole team's sitting there like, damn. Now we want to get out of there now. Everybody like, go. And then the other teams like, we don't want you. Look what happened in Carolina. So now if you're Bryce Young, you still got to root against Andy Dalton going forward because he got to make this situation look bad. So there you look good so you can get somewhere else. You may come back. They may put you back in after everybody gets their confidence reset and everyone's good. They win a couple of games. You don't want to do that. Because if you go out there, then there's nothing good you can do. Only mess it up. Because we already had it good with Andy. If we're going to put you back in there, it's because Andy struggled. And if Andy struggles, that means it's a team organization thing. Why would you want to go back to that? So you want to get traded. So if you want to get traded, it got to look ugly here. And it ain't looking ugly so far. If you're Andy Dalton after that game, you're sitting there like, this is what I do. I am a capable, serviceable quarterback. I am an adequate starter, as they say. Don't get it twisted. However, what are you going to do after this? You going to continue doing this, Andy? Oh, it's crazy. And then the funniest, craziest, wildest thing is they got to work together, share notes. Bryce Young still got to learn. You one hit away. Andy Dalton in there doing this. Ah! Come here, Bryce Young. Right back where you started. Right back where you left off. I hope not. I hope it's where you started, which is our imagination thinking great of you. This reminds me of when I got drafted, and no lie, that not day one, because day one I didn't want to play, because I was like, I'm coming from a small school. These suckers is wearing me out in training camp. I didn't have a great rookie training camp, but I was a second rounder, so they kept imagining how great I would be. I do a rep, and they were like, it's going to be all right. Yeah, you just got to learn to twist your hip right here. You know what I'm saying? The same rep. My Pat Williams, who ended up being a beast, but he was undrafted when I was there. Rookie year, same year. Pat Williams do it undrafted. Same thing. And they'd be like, if you don't flip your hips, if you don't look, you ain't going to be here long if you can't flip your hips. I'm like, damn, they just told me I got all the time in the world to learn to flip. Because they invested in me. They didn't invest in him. Turns out they end up paying him, and then they didn't care if he flipped his hips, right? That's how the game goes. But I remember being in those meetings. I didn't want to root against Bruce Smith until like my second year, kind of at the end, I started balling. Like, for me, balling. I was doing good. First year, I did amazing against the run. Nothing against the pass. I didn't even get pass rush reps. Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen took all of them, basically. Second year, I got some because I was good. And that was the first time it hit my head. Hey, Bruce, how long you going to be here again? I didn't even think about Phil Hansen like that because Phil Hansen was a technician. I was like, I ain't taking that away. But they paying Bruce a whole lot. And I was like, damn, I want to be Bruce Smith. So I want that job. And then finally, next year, I was really eating. And I was eating enough where they were like, Bruce is a little older. He banking a whole lot of money. Wiley cheap, and he pretty good. He pretty good. He ain't Bruce, but he pretty good. Next thing you know, they cut them all. They cut Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, and Bruce Smith on the same day and put all of us back in. All of us as replacements. Peerless Price, Eric Mose was already there. Antoine Smith, and me. What? Me? That's Bruce Smith? And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. There were times I was rooting against my dog. I call him Pops, my football father. There was times I was like, Bruce, can you hurry up and get out the game? Let me get it something. All I was really saying, truthfully, was I want some, and you got what I want, so can I have some? I wasn't really rooting against him. I was just like, dog, you got to give me some reps. And that turns into what Bryce Young and Andy Dalton is going through. Bruh, give me some reps. But then if you Bryce Young, do you really want reps in Carolina? That's what your team is for. Let them say the bad stuff that you can't say out loud. All right, y'all, so let me know. Beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you think of this situation. You ever been in that team dynamic where you've been rooting against Bob for that promotion, Bob? It's amazing, right, how it goes down. It's wild out here in these streets. All right, love you guys. Have a great week. I'm going to take it to school. Before